In some of the other videos on my channel, I've shown ways that you can fix a cracked phone screen with common household products. And I show that because having a cracked screen is a pretty common problem with a cell phone. Just about everyone has a cell phone these days, and the glass screens are prone to crack. So, keeping with that theme, I'm going to go with another common problem that I deal with regularly, and I'm sure you've been familiar with it too, and that's going to be having a loose USB connection, or this is also possible if you have an Apple phone, an iPhone I guess. You could have a loose lightning port. And I'm going to go over a few of the common issues or reasons behind it, and a few things you can do to improve your connections. Now when I say a loose connection, I'm talking about you have your USB cable that you would plug in to charge, and if we take it and plug it in, it barely stays on its own. It won't even click in or snap in, I guess. Now this is a brand new cable, and I can put it in. You can hear it snap. I can actually support the weight of the phone by using the cable itself. If I use this old worn out cable, it falls off almost immediately. So it's a pretty common problem. Cables do wear out over time. And what really wears out on these cables is these little prongs. If I can get it to focus. These little prongs right here on the bottom wear out. As you can see in this worn out cable, they barely protrude from the bottom of the charging cable. Now if I hold these cables side by side, you can see the new cable is on top and the old cable is on the bottom. It doesn't look like much difference, but the cable is not using a lot to hang on to in the first place. So you need every little bit of that clip that you can get. So basically when you insert this cable into the bottom of your phone, there are two little holes inside here that I can't show on camera without taking the phone apart. But these little prongs go inside there and lock themselves in place. And you can hear it click. That's what it sounds like when you make a good connection. Now this one, this old cable, when I try to put it in, there's no click. It wiggles around and it comes out very easily. So that's not what we want. But a lot of times, and I've been guilty of it too, people will just go and buy a new cable. Now, I've gotten a lot of comments on my other videos about how cheap it is to just get a new screen for your phone. And in this case, a lot of people would say, why don't you just buy a new cable? And that's an option, but a new cable is going to run you $5 to $10 on Amazon, depending on the quality, maybe even more. And then you have to wait a few days for it to get here. So why not just try to fix the cable that you have? Now there are a few things that can go wrong with these cables that are not repairable. Now if this silver connector portion comes out of the plastic housing, then there's not a whole lot you can do to repair it, aside from trying to glue it back in place, but you also run the risk of the connection coming apart altogether. But in this video, I want to see if we can actually make this cable fit in tightly again and restore it to a like new condition and save us from having to buy a new cable. So let's go ahead and clear the workspace, and I'll see what we can do to restore this. Now, of course, you want to make sure that this cable is unplugged, because you don't want any of these connections to touch. And especially if you're using a metal tool, then shorting them out is certainly a possibility. So the first issue I mentioned was that this old cable here on the left has prongs that don't protrude nearly as far as the prongs on this new cable on the right. And you can kind of see that. I know my light's making a glare, but you can see how much cleaner the new cables are than the old one. It's just worn out. And a lot of the problem is that it's recessed in there as well. And I say that because you can take something, and if you pry back on the connector, you can see the bars pop back out the way they're supposed to be. So to restore these, what we're going to do is take a really slim, this is an eyeglass screwdriver, but you can take anything similar, and we're going to reach down inside and try to pry these hooks back out. And if I push back on it, on the connector itself, then I can just get my screwdriver under the tip of that hook, and you can lift it up. Now if you look at this, you can see how much higher that is protruding now in comparison to the other one in front of it. See, if I flip it this way, the hook that we've just pulled back out completely covers up the other one. So we're going to do the same thing with the other side. And press down in front of it. So what we're trying to do is press down to get these prongs to be more exposed so we can work with them. If you bend that connector back just a little bit, you can see that it exposes the front tip of that hook. So we're going to get in front of this hook and push down to expose the front of the prong, and then I'm going to slip my screwdriver under it and pry it towards me. I'm going to push backwards, and then I'm rotating my screwdriver to pry out that hook. And now you can see I've got that hook fully exposed, and I'm going to gently try to bend it outward so that when it snaps back into position, much more of it's exposed. You see how much I've exposed there? It's a bit too much, so you can easily just press it back in just a little. And you can kind of work with it to get it exactly the way you want. And I'm going to adjust the top one again. Try to pry it out a bit. And you can see there, now I've got them fully exposed on the front end. So let's give that a try and see how good that connects. And now I've got a nice strong connection that doesn't come apart. This simple little fix doesn't require any special tools. All you need is an eyeglass size screwdriver or any small metal flat-headed object. This is a little flathead screwdriver. If this video helped you repair your USB cables, leave a like down below. Drop me a comment if you have a suggestion on what I could do better or how I could improve on this. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any upcoming tips or tricks that I may have to restore your cell phone and its accessories. Thanks for watching.